Okay, so here is study guide for quiz 4 tomorrow. And problem number 1. Short answer, if e to f is 2x minus 12. So we're going to put a 2x minus 12 right there on EF. F to g is 3x minus 15. And e to g, the entire segment, is 23. Find the value of x, e to f, and f to g. All right, so we talked about this last week, that the two shorter segments, the sum of the shorter segments is equal to the length of the entire segment. So we're going to take 2x minus 12. We're going to add it to 3x minus 15. And we're going to set that equal to 23. And then we're going to combine our like terms. We've got a 2x plus a 3x, and that's 5x. We've got a negative 12 and a negative 15, and that's negative 27, and that's equal to 23. So we're going to add 27 to each side. Our 5x is equal to 50. And then we're going to divide both sides by 5. So when we divide by 5 and divide by 5, we get an x that's equal to 50 divided by 5 is 10. So our value of x is equal to 10. E to f, EF is equal to 2 times 10 minus 12, which is 20 minus 12, and that's 8. And f to g, you can find f to g two ways. You can either take 23 and subtract 8, which would be 15, or you can say fg is equal to 3 times x, which is 10, minus 15. And 3 times 10 is 30, minus 15 is 15. So here's your x, here's your e to f, and your f to g. All right, in problem number 2, you're told T is the midpoint of SU. If T is in the middle, then we put these tick marks on here. The tick marks mean the pieces are congruent. You need to find S to T, T to U, and S to U. All right? So the first thing we have to do is solve for X. And if these two pieces are congruent, then for number 2 here, 9x is equal to 6x plus 30. We can subtract 6x from each side. Three x is equal to 30. And then divide both sides by 3. So our x is equal to 10. If we substitute now, let's see, S to T is equal to 9 times 10, which is 90. T to U is equal to 6 times 10 plus 30. And 6 times 10 is 60 plus 30 is 90. And then S to U is equal to 90 times 2, which is 180. All right, key here being midpoint. If T is the midpoint, it's in the middle, and these segments are congruent. Problem number 3, judging by appearance. All right, so we're not using a protractor, we're not measuring anything, just by appearance. We need an acute angle. All right, that's less than 90. We need an obtuse angle, and we need a right angle. Okay, remember acute, that's less than 90. Obtuse is between 90 and 180, so we say that 90 is less than the angle, and it's also less than 180. And then a right angle equals 90 degrees. So an acute angle, less than 90 degrees. I see a couple of them, all right? It looks like angle H down here. That could be an acute angle, right? Does everybody see it? Looks like it's less than 90 degrees. So we're going to say angle H. Angle E here looks like it's less than 90 degrees, so we'll say angle E. That's less than 90 degrees. And I'm going to go with angle F up here also. All three of those look to be acute angles. They measure less than 90 degrees. Obtuse angles in this diagram, the angles that look to be greater than 90 degrees, I'm going to go with angle G right here. And then a right angle. This angle I, yeah, this looks to be very close to 90 degrees. So we're going to call it angle I. All right, so there's your angles, acute, obtuse, and right. All right, problem number 4. Asking for the measures of EBG and angle EBC. Classify each as acute, right, obtuse, or straight. So let's find them first. What are the measures of EBG? So we're going from E up here down to B. B is our vertex. E, B, and then up to G right here. So in red, I'm looking at this angle. All right, so the measure of angle EBG is equal to, I'm looking over this protractor, okay? And I'm going to pick this outside set of numbers. And where this B to G hits the protractor is at 125. So I'm going to take 125 minus where BE hits the protractor on this outside set of numbers, and that's an 80. So I'm going 125 minus 80. I always go bigger number minus smaller number. You can either use the inside set of numbers or you can use the outside set of numbers. It doesn't matter which set you use, just if you pick your first number from the outside set, you have to pick your second measurement from the outside set. So if we take 125 and subtract 80, what do we get? 45 degrees? So it's a 45-degree angle. Is that acute, right, obtuse, or straight? That's acute. Good. Now we need the measure of angle EBC. So we're starting at E again. We're going down to B, and now we're going over to C. E, down to B, and over to C. So right here, C is at 0 and 180, and E is still on 80. Okay? So if I use the outside set of numbers again, we go 150, 160, 170. This is 180 right here. So I take 180 and I subtract 80. And 180 minus 80 is 100 degrees. And a 100-degree angle is called that's an obtuse angle. It's the larger measurement minus the smaller measurement, and the measurement that corresponds to each side of the angle. Problem number 6. Did we skip a problem? Okay, we missed 5. All right, we're going to complete this statement. Angle DGF. DGF is right here. Starts at D, goes to G, down to F. How many arc marks does angle DGF have? 1, 2. So we said yesterday or the day before that angles with 1 arc mark are congruent. Well, so are angles with 2 arc marks. And so are angles with 3 arc marks. So what angle is congruent to DGF? It's this angle right here. It's the other angle with 2 arc marks. We can describe this 2 ways. We can call it angle DEF, or you can describe it as angle FED. But the vertex of the angle has to be the middle letter in the description. Angle DGF, the G was in the middle. That makes G the vertex of the angle. All right, problem number 6. If the measure of angle AOC, starting at A, going to O, and then out here to C, this whole angle is 85 degrees. The measure of angle BOC, this angle is 2x plus 10. And the measure of angle AOB in here, 4x minus 15. Find the degree measure of BOC and AOB. So these two smaller angles sum 85 degrees. So we take 4x minus 15 plus 2x plus 10. We make it equal to 85. Going to combine our like terms. 4x plus 2x is 6x. Negative 15 plus 10, that's a negative 5, and it's equal to 85. Going to add 5 to each side. Our 6x is equal to 90. We're going to divide each side by 6. And our x is equal to 15. So if x is equal to 15, then the measure of angle BOC is equal to BOC, that's the 2x plus 10. So we're going to go 2 times 15 plus 10. And 30 plus 10 is 40 degrees. Angle AOB, you can find two ways. Measure of angle AOB is equal to 4 times 15. I'm sorry, 4 times 15 minus 15. And 4 times 15 is 60, minus 15 is 45 degrees. And that makes sense, right? 40-degree angle plus a 45-degree angle equals an 85-degree angle. So the sum of the two smaller angles equals the large angle. All right, problem number 7. If the measure of angle DEF, we start at D, E's the vertex, and we're going up here to F, equals 122. That's this angle right here, 122 degrees. Then what are the measures of angle FEG and HEG? Well, here's FEG, that angle, that yellow angle. You guys remember what we said about angles that form a line? What's the angle measure of a straight line? 180. So wouldn't the measure of angle FEG be equal to 180 minus 122? That's 58 degrees. So this yellow angle is 58 degrees. And now we need the measure of angle HEG. Well, let's look at HEG. Start at H, we go to E again, and then out here to G. So it's this angle right in here. And don't these two, let's use this purple color maybe. Don't these two now form a straight line? This line right here? And those two angles sum 180. So we're going to say that the measure of angle HEG is equal to 180 minus 58. And 180 minus 58 is equal to 122. All right, and I believe number 8 here is last, but certainly not least. If the measure of angle EOF right in here, 26 degrees, and the measure of angle FOG is 38. What is the measure of EOG? Well, here's EOG. We start at E, go to O, and back out to G. It's this entire angle, isn't it? The measure of angle EOG is equal to the 26 plus the 38. And that is 64 degrees. And that concludes your study guide for quiz 4 tomorrow.